Hello, it's Maxim Filmonov from Rafe Academy, and today I will demonstrate to you how to use our Fibery Toggl integration. So for that you have two options. I will show you how to use the hosted version, but there is also a way you can host it yourself. So I presume if you are hosting it yourself, you know what you're doing. We have an instruction here. You just fork this repo, sign up with Dino deploy, and enjoy your own integration. It's all open source, so you can find it on GitHub under Rafe Academy Fibery Toggl integration. So if you're not as tech savvy as some people who will be using self-hosted version, I'll show you how to use our version, which is the same source code just deployed to this URL. So what you do in Fibery is you open your Fibery account and you go to integrate. And when you go to integrate, you add a custom app here. Then you paste this URL, make sure it has HTTPS, and you connect your awesome integration. After that, you need to provide a token here. So I will paste the token here, which you won't see. Give me a second to find that. Okay, so I pasted some token here, which is my integration token in my test account. And after that, you should see a screen like this. So you can specify from date to date which to sync from, and you can specify which databases to sync. So you can sync time entries, you can sync your projects, your clients, and your workspaces. When you click next, it will ask you to set up different types for all the fields. You can adjust types here. For example, I changed the user ID type from integer to decimal, so it doesn't have like an extra zero there. You can change them to strings, to whatever you want. All these types are specified as a schema here. So if you want us to add any extra types, or if you have some information missing, just go to issues, create a new issue, and say, hey, I need some extra type here, or maybe the type that you have specified here is wrong, because those types default to what we specified. So you choose the types. Usually you don't need to do much here. You just create everything. Oh, I already have clients here. Let me just get rid of this database. So you do need to not have any database with the same names. So I'm gonna go again here, select project client workspace, press next, and everything should be good here. One thing that you need to know is that to see the ID of certain things, so we're only exporting workspace ID because we're gonna need it in the future. For everything else, you won't see the IDs that you have in Toggl, because most of the time it's technical information you don't really need. But if you do need some of those IDs, let us know and we'll add them. Just create an issue on GitHub, as I said. So after you press sync, it will think for some time. Actually, I shouldn't be thinking for that long. Okay, here we go. So what it will do, it will create 4 different databases. Database for time entries, that's the time entries I was testing with, your projects that you have, your clients that you have on Toggl, and your workspaces. This is my example workspace with some iCal and some other data there. So that's the first thing you can do. If you want to sync this more frequently than like manually, what you can do is you can click on this little thing, or you can click on any one of this and go to edit fields, and here you'll have a syncing settings. So you can switch it to sync every 60 minutes, or whenever you need to sync right away, you just click sync now. And you can also click this to not delete Fibery entities even if they're deleted in Toggl, in case if you're going to be creating entities yourself, which most of the time I don't recommend doing. But if you have some automations or something like this which allow you to create entities, then you might need to do those things. So after you get everything synced, what you can do with it? So let's say I create a new database and I call this tasks. Or to be precise, I probably should call it task, right? Because that's a Fibery convention. And I have this nice little task. Let's say do the dishes. and I want to track the time that I'm doing the dishes for. So what we did is we actually added an external actions here. So let's say I'm gonna call this start timer button. Actually, I don't like names, so I'm gonna use I was supposed to be able to use the icons, but I can't, so I'm just gonna use name this time. my keyboard for some reason is doing something weird. So here what you can do is you can search now for start, and you'll see this thing called start toggle timer. What it will need, oh, it's finally my emojis came. What you will need here is you need a workspace ID, and that's why we're actually exposing workspaces IDs. So you can customize this to however you like. You can have a task link to the workspace directly. I'm not doing as complicated. I'm just going and saying I want the workspaces. I'll sort them by name. I'm just gonna grab the first workspace and grab the workspace ID from that. It's kind of not a real case scenario, but if you're not linking your task to your workspaces, then it works good enough. And in my scenario, I only have one workspace anyway. Then description, you can do anything you want here. I will just use the name of my task. So I'll specify the name, you can specify description or whatever you want. And that's the only two fields we have, is the workspace and description. So we created this button, which now, if I actually click, it will ask me for my Toggl account. So I'll use the same Toggl account that I've used before. And after I run this, what you should see in your Toggl is see do the dishes here, and it starts counting. So one note that you didn't know, Toggl only have one timer. So if I go and I start, let's say I'm vacuuming now instead, and I will start the timer on this one, what will happen is it will actually stop the timer automatically. So you see I have do the dishes, I did it for 26 seconds, super fast, and then I started vacuuming and the timer started now. If for some reason, let's say you want to stop the timer, we have you covered too. So you can go and do it on Toggl, but who wants to go to Toggl when you can do everything in Fibery? So you have an action here called stops currently running timer. You need to give it the same workspace ID, so you can apply the same magic like I do, or something more complicated, up to you. So I sort it by name. The only reason I'm actually sorting it just a UI is because you can't get a first element otherwise. And I need a workspace ID. Make sure you use workspace ID here. If you do use other ID, like a public ID, that will give you Fibery ID, and that won't work. You get an error there. So make sure that you're using the right ID, which is the workspace ID, and we call this stop timer. And it won't stop timer. Keep in mind that it won't stop timer for the task because we haven't specified the task here. So it will just stop all the timers, and in case of Toggl, that's just one timer that we have. So let's say I'm vacuuming now and I want to stop the timer. It doesn't matter where I go. I can go to do the dishes. I stop the timer. It will stop the timer for vacuuming too, because it's just one timer. So that's how it works in Toggl. Yeah, and that's basically what our integration is capable of. So we develop custom integrations for various clients, and Toggl is one integration we wanted to open source because many people ask for it, which were freelancers, not necessarily clients and or bigger companies. So that's our contribution to Fibery community, and we would love to hear your feedback. If you have any issues, don't hesitate to go to the issues and verify Academy GitHub Fibery Toggl integration and create as many as you want, or I'll post a blog post in the Fibery community where you can leave your feedback too. I hope you enjoy this integration, and if you are a developer and you want to contribute, then feel free to submit pull requests. Definitely we'll review all of them, and we would love to give some of the attention on this integration. Thank you.